Welcome to my channel HFY Tales. A wounded alien assassin crashes into the snowy wilderness, leaving a trail of destruction behind her. Ethan Wade, a reclusive former Special Forces operative, awakens to the sounds of a violent impact outside his cabin. Barefoot, armed, and alert, he discovers her sprawled at his doorstep, an enemy trained to kill, yet barely clinging to life. Her glowing blue skin and amber eyes fixate on him, predatory and untrusting. One choice stands between life and death. Let her die, or defy everything she believes in and show mercy. In the quiet of the cabin, survival becomes intertwined with moral courage, and two beings from opposing worlds discover that trust and perhaps something deeper can bloom even in the shadow of war. The crash echoed through the valley. 3 seconds later, Ethan Wade's hand was on the Glock under his pillow, barefoot on cold wood. Weapon ready, he was alert. 4 years of isolation hadn't dulled the reflexes that had kept him alive across 3 continents. Something massive had just torn through the tree line west of his property. Snow had fallen overnight. Movement caught his eye, a dark trail cutting through fresh powder, leading straight to his cabin. Too deliberate, too precise, he pulled on boots and a jacket, chambered around and stepped onto the porch. Steam rose from the dark trail, and then he saw her crumpled at the base of his porch steps, one hand reaching forward, faint blue skin glowing in the darkness, silver-white hair matted with dark fluid, wounds streaked across her form. Ethan's weapon stayed level. Alien, tactical armor, black form-fitting, ripped from energy burns, weapons at her belt and thigh holsters. He knelt beside her, scanning angles. Silence hung in the forest. 2 fingers on her throat, cool textured like leather. Wrong but a pulse. Fast, irregular. Her eyes opened, vertical pupils locking on his face. Amber, predatory. Her hand moved for a weapon. Ethan caught her wrist, easy, canines bared. She tried to pull free, eyes locked. Then her pupils dilated. Her body went slack. Consciousness fled. His hands were already dragging her inside. On the kitchen table, her armor resisted simple removal. Trauma shears revealed blue skin marked with injuries. Plasma burns across ribs. A broken left arm. A tear through her side. Ethan worked with field medicine, precision airway, bleeding. Basics translated across species. Her blood, purple, gelled as it dried. She stirred. Don't talk, he warned. Why? You're dying. Enemy, probably. Her eyes narrowed. Should kill me. Probably, he said, wrapping ribs and dressing wounds. Her gaze lingered on his scars. Bullet wounds, knife slashes, burn patterns. Her hand gripped his wrist. Why show mercy? Because I can, Ethan thought. Her grip loosened. Darkness reclaimed her. The night passed in a blur of kerosene lamps and the glow of her skin. Limbs set, wounds stitched, bandages applied. He noticed predatory grace, angular features, defined muscles beneath blue skin. Beautiful, dangerous, alive. Dawn broke, breathing steady. Bleeding stopped. Ethan washed his hands, pink-purple water swirling down the drain. His satellite phone, off for 3 years, rang. He froze. Hadn't touched that line since he disappeared. Wade, a familiar voice said. Bishop. This line was dead, Ethan said. Apparently not. You have something that belongs to very interested parties. I have a patient, Ethan said. You have a Sith assassin who crashed after failing to kill a Colonial Federation diplomat. Her people want her back. The Federation wants her dead. Bishop's tone remained casual. You've put yourself in an interesting position, Bishop said. I didn't put myself anywhere, Ethan replied. Curious coincidence, Bishop said. Just a reminder, disappearing doesn't mean you're hidden. Whatever you decide to do with the call cut off. Silence returned. But from the kitchen table, she stirred, eyes opening again, alert, predatory, ready, asterisk, your house guest. Do it, knowing decisions have consequences. A long pause, and one more thing. Her species sees mercy as terminal weakness. Restrain her before she wakes properly. The line went dead. Ethan stood motionless, phone still in his hand. Bishop had found him, which meant others could too. And the alien, this Sithral operative, wasn't just dangerous, she was valuable. Valuable enough to put a target the size of a continent on his back. He opened the supply closet, grabbed military-grade restraints, and returned to the table. Her wrists were secured first, then her ankles, metal clicking into place. Her eyes snapped open the moment he tightened the last. Strap, vertical pupils. Full awareness. Predator awake. She tested the restraints instantly. The table creaked. Smart, she said, voice stronger now. I would have killed you in your sleep, I know. She tilted her head, studying him like a new species. You saved my life. Yes, why? Asked that already. I didn't understand the answer. Her gaze swept over her bandaged body, then to the scars on his chest and arms. Old wounds, old stories. You have field medical training, she said. Militarily was, Ethan replied. Past tense. She stared at him, measuring, calculating. My name is Shae'lynn, operative of the Sithral Empire. I was completing a tactical elimination when my extraction failed. Her tone was clinical, like reading a mission log. You are my captor. State your terms. I'm not your captor, he said. You're restrained because you said you'd kill me. Beat. You want information, she said. I want to know why someone crash-landed at my cabin. Ethan replied, pulling up a chair. I want to know who's coming, and I want to know why my dead phone just rang. Shae'lynn's eyes narrowed. You have intelligence contacts. Had the past never passes for intelligence operatives, she said. You were important once. Important enough to know alien activity. Important enough to receive secure calls on shut-down lines. Her lips curved slightly. Important enough to hide in strategic isolation. You're stalling, Ethan said, calculating escape options. Yes, a blink. Is it working? Despite everything, Ethan's mouth twitched. You're not leaving this table until I have answers. Then we have a problem, she said calmly. I won't provide them until I understand why you saved me. She leaned forward as far as the restraints allowed. In my culture, weakness is eliminated. Failure is death. Mercy is a flaw purged early. You knew I was dangerous, yet you preserved my life. Explain. Ethan was silent for several seconds. Then, because leaving you to die would make me less than I want to be. Shae'lynn's pupils dilated, then constricted, rapidly processing. Analyzing that is irrational, she said. And it may cost you your life, probably. Yet, you did it anyway. Yes. She fell silent. Her gaze dropped to his scarred hands, then returned to his face. Something shifted in her expression, subtle, almost imperceptible. You confuse me, human, Ethan, he said. Ethan Wade. Ethan Wade, she repeated quietly. I confuse you as well. Clearly, Ethan muttered. You crash-land half dead at my door, bleeding purple, armed for a war, and now you're tied to my table asking philosophical questions. A flicker of something like a smile touched her lips. Dangerous, beautiful, strange. The moment hung between them, thick and charged. They're coming for you, Ethan said quietly. I know I should hand you over. You should. I'm not going to. For the first time, Shae'lynn's eyes widened on in threat, but in something closer to disbelief. Why? Because I already decided you're worth saving, he said. And I don't take that back. Shae'lynn lay staring at the ceiling. This human made no tactical sense. Every instinct, every rule, she knew he defied all of it. And for the first time in her life, she wanted to understand why. 3 hours passed before she finally spoke again. Ethan stood in the kitchen, back turned, making coffee but keeping her in his peripheral vision. You're not watching me, she observed. I'm watching you. Your back is turned. I can hear your breathing change when you shift, Ethan said. Your restraints creak when you test them. And there's a mirror above the sink. He poured coffee. I'm watching you. Silence. Then you have extensive training. Skills don't atrophy, she said. Muscle memory remains. You left your profession but it didn't leave you. He turned, leaning against the counter. You analyze everything. It keeps operatives alive, she replied. Her amber eyes moved over him slowly. You're carrying at least 2 weapons. A Glock hip holster, likely, and something smaller, ankle rig, based on how you distribute your weight. 3, Ethan said. Knife in my boot. Her pupils flared. 2 of my guys took their own lives, Ethan finished quietly. The weight of the words lingered in the room. Shae'lynn's amber eyes flickered. Predator, awareness mixed with something unfamiliar. Why? She asked, voice low, measured. Because everything we fought for, everything we bled for, turned to ash, Ethan said. The people we saved didn't matter. The truth didn't matter. Politics won. Shae'lynn's gaze didn't waver. You retreated here. Self-exile. I came here because if I stayed, I'd do something I couldn't take back, he replied. Silence stretched between them, thick and almost electric. You carry guilt, Shae'lynn said, stating fact, not opinion. Ethan chuckled dryly. You say it like you don't. I do not experience guilt. You hesitated with that child, Ethan said softly. 3 seconds. You froze. Shae'lynn's restraints creaked as she shifted. I made a tactical error. You felt something. Her glare was sharp, eyes narrowing to slits. My people call that contamination. Emotion is weakness. Mercy is failure. My people call it being human, Ethan said. A flicker passed through her pupils. She leaned forward, voice dropping to a whisper she barely admitted. I don't understand what's happening to me. Ethan leaned back in his chair, calm but alert. You're waking up, realizing you're more than a weapon. Her eyes tracked him, slow, calculating. And you are dangerous differently. How's that? He asked. You make me think, question. You destabilize everything I've been trained to follow. That's not intentional. Her pupils contracted sharply. Isn't it? The words hung heavy. The tension in the room crackled like static before a storm. Outside. The perimeter sensors pinged softly. Shae'lynn's gaze snapped to the window. Movement. Ethan's eyes narrowed. Yeah, I hear it. Multiple signatures, she whispered. 3 no. Approaching fast. He checked the monitor. 5 heat signatures. Closing in. They found me, she said. No, Ethan corrected. They found us. Her breath hitched. Ethan, release me. If they find me restrained, they'll kill you, he said. And they'll kill you, she added quietly. He stared at the restraints, feeling the tension between trust and survival. He had saved her, stitched her wounds, kept her alive. And now releasing her could mean she kills him or gets killed herself. Her eyes locked on his. vertical pupils dilating, measuring every microsecond. "Do you trust me?" she whispered. His hand moved to the first buckle. Eye contact unbroken. "Yeah," he said. The straps fell away. Boots crunched across the snow. Outside. Laser sights cut through the cabin window. A voice barked from outside. "Cabin occupant, step out with your hands up now." Shane's pulse raced visibly, predatory, tense but human instincts creeping in. Ethan nodded once. "Stay close. Move when I say." She gave a slight tilt of her head, acknowledgement, readiness, and together they prepared for the onslaught. The first hunters broke through the tree line. The battle for survival and for trust was about to begin. "Isn't helping either of us trust each other," Ethan finished. For a long moment, Shae'lynn didn't move. She simply stared at him, measuring, calculating, trying to decipher the logic of a man who kept choosing compassion over survival. Slowly, he unbuckled the final restraint. Metal clicked softly. Her wrist was free. Shae'lynn didn't lunge, didn't reach for a weapon, didn't attack. She simply sat up. The movement was slow, almost fragile, but her posture straight, spine, coiled readiness, eyes locked on him, held the quiet lethality of a trained assassin. Ethan stepped back a safe distance, hands visible. "Try standing," he said. Shae'lynn swung her legs off the table and lowered her feet to the floor. Her muscles trembled slightly from days of restricted movement and biological stress. She steadied herself on the edge of the table, her first breath upright. Sounded like a soldier returning to a battlefield they weren't sure they'd survive better. Ethan asked. She lifted her chin. "Your planet is hostile to my biology, yet I am alive." Her gaze held him. "Because of you," Ethan shrugged. "Don't make it weird." Her head tilted. "Everything about this is strange." Then her amber eyes narrowed. "You are not restraining me. You are unarmed. You are standing within striking distance." A pause. "Why?" "Because I think you're past the part where you try to kill me." Shae'lynn blinked once. Slowly, an alien sign of surprise. "You assume much." "No," Ethan said quietly. "I'm betting on the part of you that hesitated for a child." Something shifted behind her eyes, soft but sharp, like a buried memory resurfacing. "I do not know what part you think that is," she murmured. "You will," Ethan said. "Eventually." Silence. A heavy, electric silence between a man and a being who had never been allowed to feel anything except loyalty and fear. Shae'lynn straightened fully. Her balance returned. Her breath steadied. Her hand brushed the table where the restraints had been, fingers lingering on the cold metal. She looked at him. "You should fear me," she whispered. There was no threat in the words, only confusion. "I do," Ethan replied honestly, "but I trust you more than I fear you." That stunned her more than any weapon could have. Before she could respond, an alert chirped sharply from Ethan's security console. Shae'lynn's pupils snapped into combat focus. "What is that?" she demanded. Ethan rushed to the monitor. A live feed from the perimeter drones flickered on dash screen. 4 DROPSHIPS. Low altitude. No markings. Shae'lynn inhaled sharply. "Sithril hunters, elite retrieval units. They're coming for you," Ethan asked. "For both of us," she corrected. Her voice was steady, but her jaw had tightened. "They will not take me alive, and they will not leave you alive." Ethan cursed under his breath. Shae'lynn stepped closer, slow, deliberate. "What are your options?" she asked. "You tell me," he said. "This is your people." She took a breath, exhaled slowly. "Tactically," she said, "we are outnumbered, outgunned, outpaced, and realistically," Shae'lynn looked him dead in the eyes, "we survive only if we fight together." The room went still. Ethan assessed her blue skin glowing faintly, scars across her ribs, posture coiled like a blade returning to purpose. "You strong enough?" he asked. A dangerous smile ghosted across her lips. "I am and you healed me. I am more than strong enough." Outside, the first dropship began its descent. Snow blasted sideways under its engines. Ethan grabbed a rifle off the wall and tossed another toward her. She caught it one-handed without looking. He raised an eyebrow. "Thought weapons were forbidden until you're officially unrestrained." She chambered around with smooth, predatory ease. "Consider this," she said, stepping beside him. "The beginning of trust." The hunters hit the ground. The cabin trembled. Shae'lynn lowered her head, hair falling over glowing eyes. "Ethan Wade," she whispered. "Stay behind me when they breach." He smirked. "You wish." The door shook. The battle, the real one, was about to begin. Her head tilted. "What happened to the others?" Ethan's breath caught for a moment. He hadn't expected her to ask that, not gently, not with something that sounded dangerously close to concern. "They're gone," he said quietly. "2 died in the investigation fallout. The others scattered. Some disappeared. Some didn't survive the kind of work you take after being blacklisted." Shane's expression softened. "Then you're the last." Ethan nodded once. Shae'lynn stepped closer, slowly, deliberately, until she was standing right in front of him. Her voice lowered. "You survived something meant to destroy you." "So did you," Ethan said. Her eyes flickered. "My empire would disagree." "Your empire is wrong," she inhaled, steady but tense. "If what you say is true, if I am more than what they made me, then I must choose who I become without them." That's how freedom works, he said. Shae'lynn looked at him really, not analyzing, not evaluating threat, but studying something she couldn't categorize. You want me to choose mercy? She asked softly. I want you to choose what you want, he replied, not what they programmed into you. Her gaze dropped for a moment. I don't know how to want, she admitted. You'll learn, Shae'lynn blinked. Slowly, alien and vulnerable all at once. Then a distant tremor shook the window. She stiffened instantly. Ethan's instincts surged. What is that? Shae'lynn didn't look away from the glass. Her pupils contracted into vertical slits. Dropships, she whispered. More than one. Ethan moved to the window beside her. Snow trembled with each distant thrum. How many? He asked. Shae'lynn closed her eyes, listening, her hearing far sharper than his. For your people. She shook her head. No. If it were the Empire, they'd cloak until they were close. Ethan's jaw tightened. Federation. It's possible. Her eyes narrowed. But those engines, they sound heavier. He felt dread crawl up his spine. Who else would come for you? Shae'lynn turned to him slowly. They may not be coming for me. Then who? Ethan demanded. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Ethan, after your team exposed to corruption, after your files vanished, you didn't vanish with them. You became valuable. What are you saying? She held his gaze. There are factions, powerful factions, who would want the last member of Sentinel-6. You know too much. You survived too much. And they don't like loose ends. Ethan stared at her. You're telling me they're here for me? Shae'lynn nodded once. And because I'm with you, she added, they will take me to, or kill me to remove a variable. The realization hit like a punch. So we're both targets, Ethan said. Shae'lynn stepped closer, close enough he could feel the cold radiance of her skin. We only survive together, she said. Her hand rose, slowly hesitant, unsure, and brushed his forearm. The lightest touch, but full of unspoken meaning. I do not know mercy, she whispered. But I know this. You saved my life twice. I will not let them take yours. Ethan exhaled. The hunters were closing in. The cabin trembled again. Shae'lynn turned toward the door, her stance shifting into predatory focus. Sentinel-6, she said, voice low and fierce. Fight beside me. Ethan picked up his rifle. Always snow erupted outside. The first dropship descended. Shae'lynn's eyes glowed bright amber, and for the first time, her voice carried not cold command but conviction. They have no idea what they're about to face.